Spring of 2014 at Auburn High School. I'm Emma Tankersley.
And I'm Maya Thomas, and this is AHS Now.
The 2013-2014 school year has been filled with changes. One of the most talked about changes has been the increase in fees around campus.
The increase of fees is an extremely popular topic around school, as you could imagine.
It is really important that the student body of Auburn High School knows what is happening and why these fees are increasing. Mona Robbins and Isabel Wagner have produced an informative video on this matter. Let's take a look.
On September 24th, Auburn, Alabama citizens participated in a vote to raise the current property tax. The money raised from this vote would have been used to pay for a new school that was necessary to accommodate the growing population. In hopes of saving money for the new school and to be able to continue offering the programs that have been offered in the past, Auburn City Schools will raise costs in multiple programs and limit supplies. 3 of these include paper rations, summer access fees, and parking spots. Previously, teachers were able to print at their own will. However, beginning the 2014 school year, teachers will be limited to only 2,000 copies a month.
It is a little intimidating knowing that there's only a certain amount of copies that you have, and that definitely changes the way you do things.
We have developed our curriculum so that we provide students with guided notes that helps them have to write less of supplementary material, but have actually more time to do practice on problems in class. And since we have been using guided notes to help students, we think that their scores have improved in lots of areas, especially in some of the subjects that I've been teaching. We've analyzed that and have seen improvement in the students' scores and performance. The limit on the copies is going to be just a tiny fraction of what we actually need with the way that we've been teaching math at Auburn High School.
Honestly, I don't think the rations will affect me very much because I'm a graphic design teacher.
In the past, summer access classes were offered at no cost at all. This year, to maintain the budget, there will be a $100 fee. Auburn High School allows seniors and juniors to purchase parking spots. Last year, the cost was $40. This year, the price will be raised to $75. General funds, maintenance, and cost of security guards are the cause of these increased fees.
The cafeteria's budget is one of the areas that we have to closely monitor.
Special reporter Alec Ivey had the chance to talk to our Child Nutrition Program coordinator and get the latest on Auburn High School's cafeteria and students' favorite school lunches.
Hi, I'm Alec here with Miss Ogborn today at Auburn High School Lunch. We're here to ask her a couple of questions on what we do to make Auburn High School's lunch.
Well, for starters, we have 9 staff members who come in and begin at 7:15 in the morning.
I've interviewed a couple of faculty and students around Auburn High School to ask if they like the best for lunch. What do you think they like the best?
Well, according to what I order the most of course, chicken fingers, I believe, is the #1 favorite.
My name's Michaela, and my favorite lunch is Chicken Finger Friday because I can get the most fries that I want without anybody saying anything. I just love Chicken Finger Friday.
My name's Mr. Leonard, and my favorite lunch, without a doubt, is Chicken Finger Friday.
I like all school lunches. I eat in the lunchroom every day, 5 days a week. Most of my favorites are always served. I'm famous for the fingers and fries that are served on Friday, and that's been a tradition for a lot of years at Auburn High School, but there are a lot of lunches. I don't have a bad lunch, so.
Auburn High School's Key Club has done many different service projects this year.
I even had the opportunity to have a conversation with the former Lieutenant Governor of District 13 Key Club, Tensei Tashome, about what Key Club is and everything she accomplished during her time as Lieutenant Governor.
I'm here with Tensei Tashome, former Lieutenant Governor of Key Club. What is Key Club?
Key Club is a service organization based off of Kiwanis International, and it's the high school branch. And basically it's to make community service projects and help with our fundraisers for the state of Alabama. We have the Children's Miracle Network, Eliminate for UNICEF, and the Reading is Fundamental Foundation.
When you say you were in charge of District 13, what do you actually mean? What did you have power over?
We basically have our whole district of Alabama separated into 18 to 20 divisions, and I was in charge of Division 13, and that was mainly the schools in Chambers, Lee, and Macon County. So that was like Lee Scott Academy, Auburn, and Blackett Beauregard, and then also like Valley and Lynette, and then Dadeville and Ben Russell. And so I just made sure that those clubs were doing their jobs, collecting their hours, their officers were doing
quite some time. Did you win any awards during your
Yes.
time in the program?
At District Convention, I won an award for Outstanding Lieutenant Governor, or Outstanding Board Member, and so I got a medal for that.
What are you planning to do after school?
I'm planning to go to Auburn University, and they do have a collegiate brand, Circle K, so that's basically the college key club, and I plan to join that.
Well, I'm sure you'll be greatly missed, Tensei. Now back to you.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Tensei and all she has accomplished.
Now let's take a look at sports with Caroline and Lowry.
Thanks, Emma. I'm Lowry Stuckey. And I'm Caroline Mills, here with your AHS Now sports news. Both fall and spring sports have accomplished milestones in their 2013-2014 seasons. To start off, AHS's varsity boys golf team worked really hard this season. That was apparent when they finished first in their section and headed to Sub-State. Our boys varsity tennis had some excitement this season too. They won the sectional tournament for the 6th year in a row and went undefeated in sectional matches for the 4th year in a row. There were 3 players from the tennis team that signed scholarships at the college level. Congratulations. Our varsity boys soccer team achieved a lot this season as well. They were named the section champs and even made it to the 3rd round in playoffs. The AHS wrestling team finished 3rd in the state at the end of their season and were able to set the school record for number of state medalists. Swimming and diving went to state this year and won. This fall, our varsity football coach, Coach Carter, won his 80th game in his 8 years of being head coach at AHS. He picked up 9 of those wins in his 2013 season. Not only was this an exciting season for him, but for the whole team and student body as well. The varsity boys made their first trip ever to the state 6A championship game in Tuscaloosa. Senior player Rashawn Evans really showed out this season on the field. His hard work and perseverance is what led him to sign with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Congrats, Rashawn. The most exciting game for me was the Auburn-Opelika game. Auburn pulled through with the win with the 24-14 victory. Fans stormed the field after the final second ticked off the clock to celebrate with the players. The Auburn versus Opelika game is always exciting for both sides of the rivalry. Michaela Washington and Akayla Todd produced a video all about the rivalry and how it got started. Let's take a look.
The Auburn High School-Opelika High School rivalry began around the beginning of the 20th century, although their football programs did not compete until 1915. The rivalry began in the 1850s when Auburn's founding fathers rejected a rail connection to Columbus. This was done to prevent Auburn from losing Auburn High School and the school they had planned on building, Auburn University, to an unchecked situation of economical and industrial growth. The rail connection was built in Opelika instead, and just like the city's fathers predicted, the new city gained tremendous commercial growth. The rivalry still continues on today, with most of the tension being between the football programs. Auburn High School and Opelika High School football programs played their first game in the early 1900s. The first football game between the rivals has no found records, but it is most likely that Auburn High School won, evidenced by other found records. A game between the two in December of 1917 shows that Auburn shut out Opelika with a 57-0 win in Opelika, this being the first recorded game. Since then, Auburn High School and Opelika High School's football teams have played each other a total of 88 times, with Opelika possessing the most wins. 50 years ago, the record was tied between the rivals 17-17 with 3 ties. 20 years ago, the record was 34, 30, and 3 ties, with Auburn High School being in the lead with the most wins. 10 years ago, the record was 35, 39 with 3 ties and Opelika having the most wins. And today, the record is 42, 43, and 3 ties with Opelika having only 1 win over Auburn High. Auburn and Opelika are still holding on as strong rivals, and the tension is as heated as ever. Will the tension continue as Auburn emerges to 7A? This upcoming year, Auburn High School will be in the highest classification, 7A, while Opelika will remain in 6A.
Well, that's it for AHS Now Sports. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Caroline and Lowry.
The English department implemented a new unit into the program this year.
With college right around the corner, the teachers thought it would be helpful for our students to learn how to construct a resume for college applications.
Let's dive deeper into this unit with our AP English 11 teacher, Ms. Robinson.
Robinson's English class, students are learning to create resumes and write college applications. The college prep unit includes resume writing, establishing and creating reference pages, viewing sample cover letters and thank you letters, completing a college search activity on at least 2 colleges of interest, and writing a college essay in response to a 2014-2015 Common App prompt.
This year I'm teaching AP English 11, and this is our first year that we've done actually a formal college prep unit. One of the things I think students don't realize is that a lot of the activities they're doing now are things that they should be documenting regularly, like the clubs that they're involved in, any volunteer work that they've done. All of those things are important to put on their resumes, And then with the college searches, one of the things that students are doing is they're checking on each college's website about ACT requirements, GPA requirements for admission. They're looking at things like in-state and out-of-state tuition. What scholarships are they qualified to apply for? What financial aid are they qualified to apply for? Another thing we're doing is they have all now written a Common App essay. We let students go ahead and select one of the prompts, and they've all written one of those and are getting a little bit of feedback from me this year, so that next year when they get ready to submit one, they have one that they've already done. Our sophomores this year did that as well, and our seniors are doing it again. And so by the time a student graduates Auburn High School, they potentially have written 3 different Common App essays before they start applying for colleges.
I feel like this assignment is beneficial for my future because not only will it help me not have to do one for college, but it'll help me make it better and know what categories to put certain things in, like whether this is volunteer work or whether I get credit for this, the AP classes that we take, all that stuff.
All of these things are things that I'm hoping they'll take home then and share with their parents or guardians and start planning over the summer for that complicated college application process that they'll begin in the fall.
Creating a resume in the class with the help of my teacher really prepared me for the process of applying to colleges.
I know as I am thinking about college, having a diversified resume will set me apart from other applicants. Auburn High School offers so many types of classes that give life and job skills colleges are looking for,
including technology skills. AHS even allows the use of cell phones in the classroom instruction. Let's hear from teachers about how they use cell phones in the classroom and what they think about allowing cell phones on campus. Phones are becoming such a huge part of our generation, even teachers are using them as tools inside the classroom.
I do see a need for cell phones in the school. I think that they can be a very beneficial tool for classroom instruction. I try to include them in lesson plans as often as I can. Sometimes we'll do scavenger hunts around the school where the students have to take pictures with their cell phones and then tweet them to this classroom so that we can look at all the pictures together in the classroom. But for the most part, I think there needs to be a better policy to get students to keep the cell phones away unless the teacher is using them for instructional purposes or unless there's an emergency.
In German classes, we use a lot of technologies, particularly the cell phones when we're using online dictionaries. It's a little bit more handily available to have your cell phone with access to an online dictionary that you can look through and research in probably seconds instead of having a book or something that takes a little bit longer to look up. So
we use cell phones in my class as a mass media program as microphones. They also function as cameras and sometimes even camcorders if we're in a bind. So we really use them in multiple ways. The most important way that we use them is as microphones. I would typically spend about $2,200 a year to outfit my classroom with microphones and XLR boxes that make the camera able to record what is being picked up in the microphone. And so theoretically, it's at least saving me that amount of money, $2,200 every maybe couple of years.
Now, let's head over to the news desk with Aaron.
Thanks, Emma. This is Aaron Rogers, and this is AHS Now News. This year's Teacher of the Year award was given to Mrs. Beth Antoine. Mrs. Antoine is our mass media teacher. She teaches television and production and broadcast journalism. She started the mass media program 7 years ago and has been teaching at Auburn High School for 10 years. Congratulations to Mrs. Antoine. This year, the state of Alabama offered the ACT to all Alabama juniors free of charge. This marked the first time Auburn High School has given the ACT to all high school juniors and is likely to serve as the high school graduation assessment in the future. Auburn High School has 5 faculty members retiring. Mr. Rick Rayner will be retiring after this year, serving as principal at Auburn High School. Ms. Jan Vaughn will be retiring after teaching PE for 9 years. Sergeant Major Wayne Johnson will be retiring after teaching JROTC for 19 years. Ms. Carol Farrell will retire after 23 years at Auburn High School, her most recent time being spent as the secretary in the Counseling Center. Ms. Mary Dalrymple will retire after teaching science for 28 years at Auburn High School. Together, they have had a collective of 80 years of service at Auburn High School. This year's Spring Play, Susical, featured a cast of Auburn High School students as well as 26 elementary age students. One of the elementary students had a lead role as the baby kangaroo. And there was an improv section where Andy Gibson, who played the Cat in the Hat, led the audience in an auction to sell Horton, the same Horton who hears a who. Well, that's all for AHS Now News. Now back to you in the studio.
Aaron, I'm Emma Tankersley.
I'm Maya Thomas.
I'm Lowry Stuckey.
I'm Caroline Mills.
And I'm Ann Rogers.
Thanks for watching AHS Now.